And we're racing at Charlotte.
Now remember, we couldn't get through here by ourselves earlier today, Vince. How are they going to handle it side by side? Perfectly so far up front.
Boy, that was the tricky spot that they just are going through now. Turn 2, we saw that in practice earlier today.
Look at these guys just hustling already down low on the back straightaway.
Track a lot different after Xfinity practice and Cup cars on track as well. So that traction compound run in a little bit better, we presume, as Sheldon Creed will come across and lead lap 1.
Yeah, that's no surprise. Creed had the fastest truck on the consecutive lap averages, so look for him to be really strong tonight. GMS brought a really fast truck to Darlington. Now we see speed here at Charlotte. The season so far has been all about Thor Sport and Kyle Busch Motorsports, Vince, and I know GMS has put a lot of effort in this Charlotte race.
Zane Smith, number 21, and that red and white, ran third to Chase Elliott and Kyle Busch here last year. Great view of the back end of that 21 truck from the perspective of Tyler Ankrum.
But I will tell you, Vince, these trucks are nervous. I mean, making me nervous. They're
down there, 99 now. Open up your door, quarter, bumper, clear, all clear.
It's making me nervous the way they're skipping around. Stuart Friesen down to the bottom on Carson Hocevar. John Hunter with a bit of a slide job there in 4. Can he hang on to it?
John Hunter and Todd Gilliland back and forth. Gilliland does the crossover and keeps third position. Huge win for Gilliland last week at Circuit of the Americas.
I'm going to tell you, Vince, I talked to Todd this week and I said, you were making really fast lap times late in that race with a big lead. I thought you ought to back her down a little bit. He said, Mike, I couldn't afford to get out of my rhythm. I felt like I was in a good spot with the way I was driving that track, and I didn't want to change a thing. And man, he was impressive in that victory.
There's Crafton in that neon yellow 88. You heard Regan Smith's report on Crafton prior to the green. Brand new truck for that team here tonight. Found something in practice that would have been fatal to them had they started the race with that mechanical issue, but they found it in practice, and there's a little bit of contact from Derek Kraus to Carson Hocevar.
That'll get your attention
Wow.
at 175 miles an hour. I don't care if you are going straight, somebody hits you in the back tailgate. That's tough. You can see a little damage to the left rear of Hocevar's truck as well.
Stuart Friesen in that 52, working with a new crew chief this week. John Leonard has moved from engineer to crew chief. Trip Bruce, who had been the crew chief, stays within the organization and takes on more of a managerial role, allowing him to focus primarily on those responsibilities.
Isn't it interesting how our truckers race? I mean, you would have thought Ben Rhodes would have said, all right, you got me there, Stuart. Take that spot. No. He dove right to the bottom, pushed to the inside of Friesen, and is trying to take that away.
You see Timothy Peters on the right-hand side of the screen. They had a power steering issue, evidently, that brought him to pit road. And remember, that's in a backup truck after crashing in practice this morning.
I'm really impressed with the job that these teams are doing, these drivers are doing with this tricky track. Practice was a mess. Stewart's getting a little high there. That makes you wonder what's going on with that 52. Good move forward early, but slipping and sliding now.
Using all the track, CJ McLaughlin into the wall up in that 34 truck. The Fox Bet Super 6 app is giving you a chance to win Clint's brand new Camping World RV and $25,000 for free. Just download the app and pick 6 race outcomes about Stage 2 of the Coca-Cola 600 for your shot to win. It's free to play. Don't miss out and play now. Mike, we know you gave Clint a lot of that money throughout the course of the years. Is that your old RV too, or is that's brand new?
No, he's got so much money, he just buys a brand new RV and gives it away. That's how much he loves NASCAR fans. And just think about this, as Hailie Deegan moves into the top 10, what I tell you at the opening, she would be strong. So impressive this young racer has been getting up to speed. We talked about it every week, Vince. She just seems to get better and better, and this is a solid run. Like what she's doing, Jamie.
And she does get some rookie tests throughout the season. They used one of them here just a couple weeks ago, and they ran from the heat of the day all the way in through the night, so she feels comfortable racing here underneath the lights. I talked to her just before the race. She said her goal was to be disciplined. She wanted to be consistent and just turn some solid race laps.
Well, and as Jamie points out, what a great advantage that is for Hailie to come here and get laps before this difficult test. And I agree, Mike, I've been impressed with her. She hasn't tried to do too much, and each race just gets better and better. A strong run last week, 14th, top 15 at Dakota, difficult circumstances.
No doubt, and you know, she's coming up on Ben Rhodes. We talked about Ben's success, one of the top contenders in the truck series. She closed right in on him. These are the passes that you really got to learn how to make when you're racing inside the top 10. Getting to the inside, not getting loose underneath another competitor. Everything she does is new to her in the trucks, and it's a lesson that she's learned and is doing so well. I'm really impressed. Look at that, ringing the bottom. We hear drivers all the time say we got to wrap the bottom. Stay on that white and blue line all the way around the corner. Nice job there, pulls right up on the back of Rhodes.
Halfway through stage 1, we've been green from the drop, and Sheldon Creed has been out front for all of the laps so far.
Look at this mess, Vince. Lap truck there. Wow. That was close.
Saw Rhodes squeezing around that lap truck, and Hailie Deegan right there with them as well as they come up on Spencer Boyd in that green and white 20 truck.
Hocevar with a run because of the lap traffic. Nice move through that for Carson. You can see all the way up to 7th place. Derek Kraus, this battle tightening up.
Carson Hocevar in that Nice machine, number 42. What a strong run he's had inside the playoff picture as you see Johnny Sauter now trying to work on Ryan Truex. Sauter inside the top 15.
He moves to 13th with that move as Todd Gilliland closes in on Austin Hill, and there's John Hunter Nemechek nipping on his tailgate.
2nd, 3rd, and 4th right there.
If you didn't watch practice this morning, Vince, I promise folks at home, it was a mess. And these drivers just show how they've been able to adapt and get better. Obviously students of the game. They watch the Xfinity practice, the Cup guys run, and now they're just doing a perfect job of running around this racetrack.
John Hunter Nemechek within striking distance, but needs a bobble from Gilliland. Not quite ready to make that pass just yet. They're all chasing Sheldon Creed, who is really putting some fast laps down. Has built a lead of better than 3.3 seconds.
You don't have to look far to find battles, though. This 66 truck of Ty Majeski started back in the field. He's our biggest mover toward the front. That pass there moves him into the top 15. So nice job for Majeski. Not only is he driving this truck, Vince, he's been at the shop working on it, earning his way back to the truck series. Last year didn't go anywhere near like that young racer wanted it to, and it's good to see him get a second chance.
He is getting that chance through Thor Sport, and he's the 5th truck out of the Thor Sport stable tonight. Majeski, by the way, started 31st, and as Michael said, he's up to 15th. As you see our leader, Sheldon Creed, he's led them all.
This really isn't a surprise. We looked at all the data, the lap tracker, and the times from the earlier practice, and we only got to run about 5 or 6 laps in a row, Vince, before the caution flew. But that truck there, Sheldon Creed, was the best in that practice session.
First time Creed has led laps here at Charlotte. He's led them all. Late laps of stage 1.
Welcome back to Charlotte Motor Speedway Camping World Truck Series action. There you see the leader, Sheldon Creed, continuing to dominate this race. Interestingly enough, a brand new race truck for Sheldon Creed. This truck has everything in it that they've been learning throughout the course of the season for the GMS racing team. He said earlier today, I don't know how it's going to be, but I feel like if it's as good as it should be, we will have our program back on track. Clearly, they've got their program on the mile-and-a-half racetracks back on track right now, Vince.
Yeah, Vince, and you know what I love about this? We talk about Charlotte being sort of a checkpoint Charlie. You know, you come to Charlotte, you've learned what you've accomplished through the first third of the season. You want to build new trucks. You want to build your best. We heard about Matt Crafton with a new truck. Sheldon Creed here with a new vehicle. These teams are constantly researching and developing new parts and pieces. And when you put one together and you bring it to the racetrack and it performs like this, all that work paid off.
Yeah, Jeff Stankiewicz, the crew chief for Creed, telling me recently that they felt like they were a little behind at the start of the season. Not that they had rested on their laurels, but from that championship of a year ago, but just did not feel like they had gained as much as some of their competitors. But he said, we're getting it together and we're going to be coming strong, and they are doing just that. Final lap here in stage one. Sheldon Creed, it has been a dominating performance. He has led all 29 laps so far here in this stage.
How about that, Vince? When a plan comes together, you know, the team says we need to develop new parts and pieces, and they get them all together. And on paper, it looks good. And man, on the racetrack, it's looking good as well.
Pretty good on that stopwatch. He won 11 stages in 2020. Had not won yet this season until right now. Sheldon Creed, first stage win of 2021.
Sheldon Creed and GMS Racing making a statement here early at Charlotte. It's been all about Kyle Busch Motorsports on these big tracks. Not tonight so far.
Impressive. Led all 30 of stage one. Sheldon Creed. Welcome back to Camping World Truck Series Racing here on FS1, presented by Blue Emu. Todd Gilliland and Sheldon Creed so strong there in that first stage, but Creed winning it. You know, the race back to the track digital sweepstakes is open to fans who are vaccinated or pledged to make a vaccine appointment. And through May 31st, fans can visit NASCAR Speedway.com/VAX, VAX, and enter to win tickets to the 2022 Daytona 500. That's on February 20th at Daytona International Speedway. To register for a vaccine appointment, please visit vaccines.gov, or you can text your zip code to 438829.
Oh, Mike's vaccinated, Vince. I went down that road, and I'm really thankful for that.
Vince is as well. Yes, sir.
Let's come to pit road. What do you say, buddy? This is good.
Team's getting ready to get busy. And led by the leader, Sheldon Creed, in that dominating stage 1 performance. Let's go down to pit road. Jamie.
Start off with the number 21, Zane Smith. He said it was free through 1 and 2, not bad through 3 and 4. So they're going to make a little bit of an air pressure change. Keep it quick, keep it smooth. Fuel and tires go 1 down on that track bar. Move up pit lane a little further to the number 4, John Hunter Nemechek. They knew he was really close to Sheldon. They told him, be patient. We know you're being held up. His message back was, the bumps have me all messed up in turn 3. They're making some adjustments, Regan.
Your leader, Sheldon Creed, in the 2 truck. That truck started off too free. The longer he ran, the tighter it got in the center, though. He needed an adjustment for the center there.
Wow, look at that 3-way for first off pit road, decided by the timing line.
Gilliland gets him. Nemechek up a spot. Sheldon Creed drops a couple.
Watch this battle off, Vince.
Cruz getting it done. Good stuff. Coming back for stage 2.
I was put on this earth to have fun.
Welcome to my office. I'm glad y'all could be here.
Whoa, he hit him.
Oh, he just smashed it in the back bumper.
Whatever, bro. I'm sweating and I'm hot and I'm tired. You spin me and end my day. I'd probably want to fight you too. They pissed a lot of people off.
I'm gonna bust his ass.
I'll put this out of the racetrack.
Drive your you little.
I'm the bad guy. I won again.
There's only one way to put it. They were badass guys.
Can't wait for this. Fox Sports Films presents a dynamic look at the history of the renegade drivers in NASCAR and the outlaw spirit ingrained in the sport. I thought I saw a helmet being thrown. Maybe you were the target of that, were you?
Robbie Gordon tried to hurt me with his helmet, but I was in a steel cage, and his helmet didn't stand a chance. Vince, you had a great idea earlier. You want to talk to Todd
Gilliland? Hey, let's, it wasn't the right time earlier, but how about now?
How about that? Hey, Todd Gilliland, great first stage, great pit stop. How special would it be for you to take a trophy back to Sherrills Ford, North Carolina? Great job here so far.
Yeah, thank you. It's cool to see this team making all these little steps every week, and we've got a fast the Pete Store Ford F-150 tonight. So just shout out to all the fans here, all the guys watching at home, and everyone at Front Row Motorsports. And I saw you doing a clip about it. This is an awesome racetrack to get a win at.
Certainly is. I'm glad you have that attitude toward it. Okay, buddy, 1 to go. Pull those belts tight. Let's get a good restart.
10-4, thank you.
I'm a part-time spotter up here, too.
I guess you are. You're full service.
Ooh, interesting. Gilliland takes the outside lane. I didn't see that coming.
You know, Todd made an interesting point about the strides that his team is making, that front row group. We've seen that. I mean, not just certainly the win last week, but I mean, over the course of the last 5-6 weeks, we've seen a step forward for those guys.
And you know, these trucks, these teams work hard for sponsorship. And tonight's a triple truck challenge race presented by Wampley.
Well said.
You always say that so well. I wanted to give it a try. Those two have won it already. You know, another win is even a bigger bonus should one of those two get the victory. So don't think these kids are going to go buy a boat or something. If they win this, it'll go toward trying to buy some more tires and make their trucks faster.
Sheldon Creed and Todd Gilliland, each, as you see, pocketing a $50,000 bonus with their wins at Darlington and Circuit of the Americas. And if you would win 2 of the 3, which they have an opportunity to do with a win tonight, you get another $50,000 plus another $50,000 bonus. Totals $150,000. Thank you very much.
That just sounds lovely to me.
Yes, it does.
I owned a team for a while. I know how important it is for sponsors and all the incentive you can get to help pay those bills.
A lap has been added before we get this restart. So Sheldon Creed led all the laps in stage 1. He'll start in row 2, the inside of row 2 on this restart. It'll be interesting to see if his truck handles just as well, maybe behind another truck, or if he can get out front again quickly.
I don't want to sound like I'm overly dramatic, but watch closely on these restarts. These guys just get so aggressive. And you saw Sheldon Creed got the lead early and he drove off. That's why they push so hard. They know how important that track position is. But man, you're going to see some bold moves when we go back green. Jamie, the 42 of Hocevar was back on pit road. What issue did he have?
So they've actually made 3 stops to pit road now. The first was for fuel and tires. The second and the third were to try and raise that truck up a little bit. He was dragging through that whole first stage. So hopefully they have it at a place where he can actually get out there and battle now. But he's got to go all the way through the field as he's back in 27th.
Yeah, a lot of position lost, but you got to get it right. And if you're going to make that kind of change early, is the time to do it.
Yeah, you can overcome it doing it at the end of the first stage. Into the second stage, that hole gets too deep. So I like what the team did. If he's having that much trouble with it bottoming out, he's got to get it up off the road.
Yeah, Hocevar finished 11th in stage 1, and as Jamie said, back outside the top 25 for this restart.
Look at that top 10 though. Todd Gilliland right there up front along with John Hunter. There's the 26 we talked about, Tyler Ankrum. He's solidly in the top 10. Deegan and Friesen round out that group. Derek Kraus just behind them in the Napa truck. He's running well tonight.
So for this restart, it'll be Gilliland on the outside and John Hunter Nemechek on the inside. And when they come across and take the green, we're going to take you for a ride with the 2 of Sheldon Creed. It's stage 2 underway at Charlotte.
No pressure behind by 1. Still outside quarters, 2 lanes up. Still outside. Bumper clear. Halfback. 21's closest to you off the bottom. There's single file now behind you. By 1, no run coming.
Oh, that was so close. Johnny Sauter was outside of Chandler Smith. Smith didn't know he was there, and they made contact, and I can't believe they didn't pile up the whole field.
So tight, as you see Crafton slipping on the inside of Tyler Ankrum, and Ankrum trying to hold him off. Oh, there's a problem for Sauter.
That was that contact, I think, Vince. On the left front, his tire's going to go flat.
Can he get it down without collecting anybody else? And Sauter dives it down toward pit road. Boy, that was disaster averted.
Yeah, great job by Sauter getting it woed down. It started on the restart here. Sauter gets the high side. You could see Chandler Smith got in the back of Sauter, and Sauter just hung in there. But when they exit turn 4, Chandler doesn't give him any room, and watch how close this was to a crash.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm telling you, Vince, the right rear of these trucks are really sensitive. It's an important part of the truck.
Just in front of Sauter was this near incident. Rhodes and Austin Hill having a little touch.
It's a heck of a day at sea, sir. There's so much going on everywhere we look. Action and contact. I'm going to tell you about the 18 of Chandler Smith. He won't be able to drive that truck very competitively with all that damage to the right rear. You use the right rear of the truck in order to keep your aerodynamics in check and lean on that air. He doesn't have a right rear anymore.
Well, and you saw Smith just kind of run Sauter out of room there. And is that a tough position for the spotters to see the trucks on track at that location where they were? They're coming off 4?
Yeah, they're really tight on the outside wall, and you can see the damage on the right rear. That's Drew Dollar in the 51 trying to take that spot away.
A couple of teammates from Kyle Busch Motorsports. Drew Dollar, heavy damage to his primary truck in practice, and now Chandler Smith in that 18, as you said, Mike's going to have a handful with that damage on the right rear.
That team's got to formulate a plan. We got to figure out a way to get a right rear on that thing, as Brett Holmes in the 32 way down low on the 15 of Tanner Gray. Ryan Truex watching all this as Drew Dollar picks up another spot.
How about that damage on the 18 of Chandler Smith, Jamie?
Chandler was telling his team that the changes they made, it made him looser than he was before. They had to tell him it was because he had damage on the rear and knocked that quarter panel off. Now he just has to fight through it.
Yeah, that's significant, and you aren't going to be able to fight through it. You're going to have to make repairs to be competitive at all. See the whole field just streaming by him a truck at a time.
Yeah, at this point, Chandler Smith needs a caution so he can come in, or he's going to have to come in under green, or he's going to just live with it and continue to get past.
Yeah, I think you're going to live with it until the caution comes out. It's your only choice right now. There's Chase Purdy going by. Grant Enfinger in the 9 coming up on him. Austin Wayne Self in the 22.
Tough break for Chandler Smith. Had a difficult go of it at COTA last week. Finished 33rd. A season best 4th at Richmond, but since then they've not been in the top 10.
Yeah, I really looked for a good run for this team tonight. He was strong in practice, and it just hasn't been there.
John Hunter Nemechek took the lead on that restart. And remember, we told you Sheldon Creed restarting on the 2nd row, and it would be interesting to see if he would be able to resume at the front. Well, not quite yet. North Carolina Education Lottery 200 from Charlotte. Welcome back. Camping World Truck Series racing from Charlotte Motor Speedway here on FS1, presented by Blue Emu. And there's Brett Holmes.
Big
with
damage.
Heavy damage to that 32. We were under caution. The 15 of Tanner Gray had gone around exiting turn 4. And there's a look at Holmes.
Looked like he got down on the apron and maybe kicked himself loose, and Tanner Gray became a part of that problem. It started, it looked like, with Holmes clipping the apron. You saw the sparks flying. Nice job by Jack Wood and that 24 truck slipping through the middle of that mess.
And the good news for Tanner Gray fans, didn't look like he made contact with the wall, but he'll need a fresh set of those good years. Not so fortunate if you're rooting for Brett Holmes, last year's ARCA Menard Series champion. By the way, the 41 of Dawson Cram gets the free pass. It's interesting as you see Tyler Ankrum head to pit road. Ankrum, one of those outside the cut line coming into this race. Johnny Sauter was on the bubble. Sauter is struggling. Ankrum having a very good run, so that gap is shrinking for those drivers trying to get inside the cut line.
And this this caution flag, Johnny Sauter's 2 laps down, right, racing for his playoff chances, and this caution flag is going to hurt his efforts to get back on the lead lap. He needed everybody to stay out until the stage break and try to grab one there, but now he's going to be stuck 2 laps down.
Good look at Grant Enfinger in that 9 truck. Back-to-back top 5s. Enfinger running this 9 for Cody Robaugh a little bit this season, and running a half year for Thor Sport in the 98. And great to see those honor and remember logos on the Goodyear tires. Such a special Memorial Day weekend. Welcome back to the North Carolina Education Lottery 200. John Hunter Nemechek, your current leader. Sheldon Creed won stage 1. We're with 7 to go here in stage 2. Under caution, Brett Holmes and Tanner Gray bringing out the yellow.
There's what young Chandler Smith needed, a new right rear fender. And if his team fixes it better than it was originally, NASCAR will frown upon that, but they want to get all they can get back there.
Hey, we were talking before the break about the move that Tyler Ankrum is making on Johnny Sauter. You said Johnny Sauter a couple of laps down, Ankrum having a good run. He came into this race, Ankrum did, minus 37 below the cut line, so he's already picked up 17 points. And Johnny Sauter's cushion above that cut line is just 3. Austin Wayne Self and Tyler Ankrum, Chandler Smith all putting on the pressure. Haley Deegan too, for that matter.
Tightening up back there, Vince.
Yep. Hey, we saw Stuart Friesen come back down pit road. Jamie, what's going on there with the 52?
It was his first time coming down pit lane during this stage. So what happened is new crew chief for the weekend, John Leonard, just missed it. They meant to come as soon as pits open, but they didn't call it soon enough, so he had to come back down on that second lap.
Well, as a driver, you're supposed to do what your crew chief tells you to, but in that case, might have, should have, not have. Might have, should have, not have.
Let's get this restart. See if that outside lane has a little better start this time than it did the time before. Sheldon Creed getting a big bump and a big wiggle.
And we're 3 wide.
Yep. Yeah, that outside lane didn't get rolling again. And now Creed is dropping back a handful of positions.
Wow.
Put 3 wide. Dangerous position.
Do I count 4 wide? I mean, yeah, this is just the way these race restarts go. So aggressive. Can Todd hang on to it? No.
Gilliland and Creed going around, and the caution is going to come back out. Oh, and then the 23 of Purdy gets hit at the last moment. Mike, that all started by Creed not getting a go at the restart, and he ended up getting shuffled back and put himself in a bad position.
Yeah, a lot of time your restart is dictated by your pusher. What kind of guy you got behind you, if you can get a good shove, and we saw that inside lane really hook up and get going. And then Todd Gilliland just dives into turn 3 and can't hold his truck straight because he was so close to Sheldon Creed. They were side by side.
Watch this restart, and Sheldon Creed will start outside front row, but just doesn't get a good start, and then ends up getting put on the outside and dropping back.
But you see how tight the 2 trucks on the bottom were. They just got a perfect start. Creed's push went awry, and that started this whole mess with those 2 trucks side by side.
Now watch 38, Gilliland, and 2 Creed, the 2 triple truck challenge contenders, by the way.
Todd just couldn't hold it, got loose and into Creed, and Gilliland luckily slipped by, and it looked like Creed was gonna until the last minute when the 23 just couldn't get low enough and ran into him. Oh, this is going to be interesting.
A little more about wrecking up top. Check up. Come on, down and down. One inside. Come on up, all clear, nice work.
There's the Sheldon Creed group.
You know that brand new truck, Vince, that we were talking about? It's going to need some new parts and pieces.
Boy, look at that. Doesn't look good, Regan. Creed done for the night, I would imagine.
Yeah, unfortunately, Vince, such high hopes for this brand new truck this team brought out tonight, but the spindle on the left front, when they took the tire off to check it, is broken. That basically means their night is done. The left front tire has nothing to keep it pointing straight.
Boy, heartbreaker for Sheldon Creed, last year's series champion. Winner earlier this year at Darlington, but done early tonight. And boy, they had a great truck, as we mentioned, led every lap of stage 1.
John Hunter Nemechek making a play here, a strategy call, as is Ben Rhodes. Both these guys, Jamie, have victories, and they're just rolling the dice to get in better shape for the end of the race.
Hunter Nemechek, he's been happy with the way that the truck has been handling. He said it wasn't as much help as I needed on that first pit stop, so they're going to go a little bit more aggressive with the changes this time. It was still a little too free.
Looked like possibly a shock change on the left rear, or perhaps a spring rubber. A big adjustment on the left rear for Nemechek. You can see these teams all taking their time and making adjustments, Vince, because they know they're going to start in the back and just limp to the stage break, then stay out and get that track position. These teams, the gears on the crew chiefs and the engineers heads are just constantly spinning, trying to figure out any way to get an advantage.
By the way, 4 sets of tires tonight, so you have to be judicious with those as well. And as I think to Mike's point about why you're going to take it easy, those teams that came in for this stop right here, you're going to take it easy on these last couple of laps at the end of stage 2.
Yeah.
Don't want to burn off the good
NASCAR's
of those tires.
Trying feverishly to get the track cleaned off so we can go racing for a couple of laps.
While they continue to work on it, I'll remind you about big baseball matchups tomorrow on Fox. National League East showdown, baseball night in America. The Braves battling the Mets. Maybe the Giants facing the Dodgers out on the West Coast, or the Brewers and the Nationals. It's tomorrow, 7 Eastern on Fox and the Fox Sports app. Check the local listings for the game in your area.
We're going to get that one to go, Vince.
Teams coming to the choose zone, choosing the inside lane or the outside lane. And again, watch the 38 of Gilliland trying to gather it up, and Sheldon Creed, wrong place, wrong time.
Yeah, Sheldon struggled on the restart because of the push from behind, got him sideways, and then the push from the side knocked him into the wall.
Well, and I think, Mike, we saw you made the comment of Gilliland just getting loose there, and we see that in that position on the track a lot. But just in this particular instance, there was another truck on the outside of him, and there was nowhere to go, nowhere for Gilliland to gather it up.
Yeah, but if you're Sheldon Creed, you think to yourself, or you're going to tell Todd Gilliland, it's your job to drive your truck.
Yep.
It's not my job to keep you straight. That was a mistake. But we see these guys, they race aggressively every lap, and when you race at that high of an intensity level, there's going to be issues.
How about some radio from Gilliland?
What's the damage? Can you tell me? I don't think it's nothing they can't fix. Yeah, I wasn't trying to go middle. He just pushed up and then 99 shoved me in there. That's all good.
Yeah.
All good.
On their channel.
Yes, probably not quite the same perspective on the channel of the 2 camp.
Yeah, and that 2 driver, Sheldon Creed, he's one of those renegade guys. He's just here to race and run as hard as he can. He doesn't like getting things taken away from him. Todd Gilliland will probably hear about that.
Here's Zane Smith for the restart on the inside, and Austin Hill on the outside. And it's going to be a sprint to the finish. 1 lap left in stage 2.
What about some of the players we got up front? Here comes Austin Hill with a nice shove from Ty Majeski in the 66. Ty has done a great job getting toward the front.
And that's Derek Kraus in the 19 right behind Zane Smith.
There we go, 4 wide again.
Fanning out, battling for the lead. Hill and Zane Smith still side by side through 3.
Oh, and there's contact.
Austin Wayne Self, who is 11th in the playoff standings going around, but Zane Smith's going to bring it through and take his first stage win of the season.
Self was able to spin and not get collected.
Wow. It is all happening at a rapid pace. They played nice through stage 1, and then I'm not sure, Mike, if they all got an idea that maybe there's some weather in the area. We better get with the program. And
well, they drive like there's weather in the area all the time on these restarts, Vince. We know if they can just sort it out after 4 or 5 laps on the restart, things will calm down. But getting that accomplished sometimes seems to be quite the challenge.
Also, Austin Wayne Self losing some track position there on that spin. Watch him there in the middle between the 26 and the 9 of Ankrum and Infinger.
Yeah, he just got into Ankrum. Ankrum came down a little bit. I don't think it was really Austin Wayne's fault, but look at this, sliding through the corner, through the field, and was able to keep it out of the inside wall. Nice job there.
From Ankrum's view.
One inside. Coming to the green checker this time. Still inside. Still inside. 99 pushes here. And stayed in.
Whoa. Wow. It was a dramatic ending to the second stage for the 26 truck. Now he's got a flat tire, so
So Tyler Ankrum and Austin Wayne Self, two drivers that are outside the cut line but making moves toward a playoff position tonight, both with issues at the end of stage 2. No problems for this guy though. Zane Smith, the stage 2 winner.
Just a glorious night.
Trucks always put on quite a race here at Charlotte.
It's a home game.
We're underway here at Charlotte.
We got a crash off turn 4.
They are wheel to wheel.
3 wide into 1. Oh, and there's trouble.
Trouble, turn number 2.
Unbelievable.
That's why people love the trucks, because they go hard from lap 1 to the end.
The winner at Charlotte.
Back at Charlotte Motor Speedway, under the lights, Camping World Truck Series. Zane Smith, the stage 2 winner. Sheldon Creed led all the laps in stage 1 and won stage 1, but he is out of the race after an accident. If you're just joining us, Creed tangled with Todd Gilliland, and Creed took the worst of it and is done for the night. Trucks on pit road, and we go down to Jamie Howe.
And our current race leader, Zane Smith, in the number 21, they're making the decision to make it quick in, quick out, not make any adjustments so they can hold on to some track position, Regan.
Austin Hill in the 16 truck. They've been working on this truck the first stop of the night. Made it better for this most recent run. Right now, just a little bit too tight in the center as well as entry still. And on the left of your screen, Ty Majeski, a great run. First time in a truck in almost 9 months. Right now, that truck is good. He's happy with it. Just a little bit high on the water temp under yellow right now.
That's race, just the complexion just changed, Vince. Flipped around. We had a lot of people that pitted earlier and stayed out. So what's Zane Smith going to get for his stage win other than a playoff point? He's going to restart outside the top 10.
Yeah, definite change in track position, that's for sure.
I like this. The stage break
strategies.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anytime you have strategy comes into play, you get a chance. We saw host of ours struggling earlier. Now look at him. Stuart Friesen, the same story. Grant Enfinger again in the top 5 like we see so many times lately.
Good stuff. Getting ready for this final stage. Give us an opportunity to remind you that certainly as we remember and honor those who gave their lives in service to our country this Memorial Day weekend, Fox Sports is proud to support Dreams for Veterans, a program of Dream Foundation. Dream Foundation is the only national dream granting organization for terminally ill adults. And the Dreams for Veterans program grants final dreams for our servicemen and women, providing them comfort and closure at the end of their life. Certainly a great program and important every day of the year, but certainly notable this weekend, Memorial Day weekend. Zane Smith won stage 2, but has a penalty for crew member over the wall too soon.
Can't cross until you're a pit away, and it looked like maybe the jackman got out there a little too soon and is penalized. And Vince, we talk about this a lot. A penalty this late in the race is really hard to overcome. We've seen how difficult passing is, and he's just going to have to be overly aggressive on this restart. What a great stage it was, and man.
So Zane Smith will have to go to the tail, losing valuable positions. We talked, by the way, a few moments ago about there being some weather in the area, and I know teams are always keeping an eye on the radar. We had some rain a little bit earlier today that canceled qualifying, but so far so good through 2 stages. Let's go down to Jamie with Sheldon Creed.
We saw Sheldon crawl out of the car on pit lane. Sheldon, for you, a lot of traffic out there. What happened from your seat?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't get a great restart there. Then when the 38 got to me, it picked me up a little bit and spun him. Got split 3 wide, and I don't know if I cleared him down the backstretch or if he hung there, but he got a huge run into 3, and I guess tried going 3 wide middle, and I don't know what he was trying to do, slide up in front of me or what, but he was fully committed and just got loose, and yeah, just kind of took us with them and clipped me and spun me and then got clobbered. So I mean, I probably didn't do any favors by staying close to him, but I don't know. I think he thinks he's Kyle Larson. Sometimes he's going to go do some slide chops. But anyway, I just want to thank Lift Kids for Less for coming on board. And when the guys at GMS are doing a great job, we had a really fast truck tonight. And it looks like our teammate is running pretty good. So hopefully he can go and finish it off.
Fast truck that led 34 laps.
So frustrating end of the night for Sheldon Creed. Frustrating stop for Zane Smith. We told you about having the crew member over the wall too soon and the penalty that comes along with it. So look, a bit of a heartbreaker for Zane Smith, a stage 2 winner, and now going to have to go to the tail of the line. And watch the Hawkeye. It's a tire carrier.
He's on the ground, and the truck wasn't to the... He's just crossed that line, and that's a penalty NASCAR calls. That's why we have the Hawkeye system, the digital system that allows NASCAR to monitor these pit stops, keeps the playing field level for all the competitors.
And the pit stops, such a timed bit of choreography that sometimes if the driver doesn't get in quite as quickly as he should, it throws off the timing of those crew members coming over the wall, and that can create that problem.
You know, and just think about last week, we magnified that by doing it in the rain, so that really does throw the timing off. So Zane Smith back to pit lane. See what Matt Crafton, he's having a solid run. What's that team thinking?
You've got to be kidding me. What a joke! Get the together! What the?
I don't think the pit stop went as Junior Joyner hoped it would.
No, radioactive worthy, I think, there for...
Looks pretty calm now, doesn't it? Sometimes you need to just get stuff off your chest.
Mm-hmm. I'm guessing that even though he was calm on the outside, probably still had the stomach churning and the heart rate was up.
Well, Vince, we've talked about these restarts, and anything you give away on pit road, you just risk being behind where the wreck's going to happen. And so now Matt Crafton's back in 14th position.
Well, the spots are too hard to get on track. You can't afford to give them up on pit road.
Well, we've seen that, how aggressively and crazy, really wild racing we see on these restarts.
So Carson Hocevar on the inside and Stuart Friesen on the outside, with Grant Infinger on the inside of row 2, John Hunter Nemechek on the outside of the second row. Getting ready for this third and final stage.
This is going to be intense. Sit back and enjoy.
And the green flag is out for Hocevar. Friesen got a little better restart on the outside than we've seen others tonight. In fact, Friesen getting some momentum and a little bit of bump from Nemechek to get out front.
And look on the outside, one of those Thor Sport trucks coming around. Christian Eckes with a strong run up the outside.
So for the first time tonight, the outside line gets a better start than the inside, and Hocevar gets shuffled back to third. And Nemechek going to try to put another spot on the 42, and he does. So Hocevar now slips into the 4th position. Friesen with the lead. Eckes taking a look on the inside.
That is a strong move, being able to get to the bottom, hold that low line all the way off the corner, but he's going to have company up there.
Wow, John Hunter Nemechek slides down to the bottom lane. 3 wide for the lead. Got them both. Crazy move from Nemechek, and now Hocevar ends up getting Friesen and Eckes as well.
Bold move, wasn't it, Vince? Wow. Went all the way off the racetrack on the back straightaway and made it work on the bottom.
And now John Hunter Nemechek out front, and this Kyle Busch Motorsports camp has been so good on the 1.5 miles. If you're the rest of the field, you hate to see Nemechek out front. You like to keep him back in the traffic. John Hunter won at Las Vegas. Kyle Busch won the other 2.5 miles at Atlanta and Kansas. So KBM 3 for 3 and looking for more. Watch this move from Nemechek.
Anytime you see a couple trucks side by side, you know you're going to get a run. But wow. Eckes went to throw the block, but it was too late. And that angle into the corner, Vince, it's so difficult to hold the gas down. John Hunter did it and made it work.
How about that move and the way the 4's rolling now, Jamie?
Well, it really goes back to a conversation I had with him earlier today. He said we have to just execute. He said we have all the confidence in the world in each other as a team, but we've got to be able to put it together. He finished his season worse just last week at COTA. He finished 12th, and he said we can't do that again. We got to go for it. You saw him go for it right there.
Well, he did indeed. Nice little battle there on the right-hand side of the screen. Now full screen for you with Austin Hill and Eckes for 4th.
Eckes slid up a bit and Hill got to the bottom, but he just can't complete the pass. Eckes is able to keep the momentum up on the high side and so far keep Hill behind him.
Eckes making his 5th start of the season. We mentioned earlier he's splitting that 98 with Grant Infinger, and it's been a good run for Eckes. He was unfortunate at COTA and a 35th place finish, but the other 3 starts he was top 10. And there's the 9 of Infinger, who Eckes is splitting that 98 truck with, and Infinger has been hopping in the 9 out of the Cody Robaugh camp and has done great things with that as well. And I think what an advantage it is for the Robaugh team to get an understanding of what they've got in their equipment with a driver like Infinger, a veteran driver, being able to climb in and evaluate their stuff.
And Infinger wanting to show the world that he's not done yet. He's still got the ability to go out and win races, and just been very impressive. And we heard the crew of Matt Crafton with their frustration. He restarted 14th. He's already up to the 7th spot. So they've got a fast truck. And right behind him, Ben Rhodes is nipping at his tailgate. A pair of teammates there inside the top 10.
But doesn't that really just add to the frustration when you know how fast of a truck you've got and then you give away spots on pit road?
Yeah, it's just constant battle to try to get them back, and Matt Crafton's done a nice job in that 88 truck. A new truck for that team as well. We talked earlier about the GMS crew having new trucks. Crafton's got one that he likes.
Good look at that 16 of Austin Hill.
These two have been having quite the battle, Vince, and I think there might be a little contact. Oh, no, just pushed him with the air. Used that nose to just shove the air on the tailgate of that truck, and sideways he went.
The red, white, and blue scheme, very fitting for the Memorial Day weekend. He has been so good on these mile-and-a-half tracks. Top 3 finishes in all 3, but yet to get a win. He's got some work to do yet tonight. Everybody chasing John Hunter. Back to Charlotte Motor Speedway, and a great little teammate battle going on from the ThorSport camp. Ben Rhodes on the bottom and making the move on Matt Crafton.
Trio of ThorSport trucks running there inside the top 10. Crafton fading a bit, and here comes Ben Rhodes.
Christian Eckes just up ahead of them.
Just outside the top 10, Ty Majeski runs 12th, so strong performance for that organization. There's a good look at Ben Rhodes, Louisville, Kentucky driver, 2 wins this season. Very consistent all year long, Vince.
Had a career year last year and has been even better this season. Has the best average finish of all the full-timers and is already sitting pretty in the playoff standings with a couple of wins. Won the first 2 races of the season, both at Daytona on the oval and then the road course. And the gang at ThorSport just can't say enough good things about Ty Majeski, who has been working in the shop and has gotten an opportunity to drive that number 66 truck. First race for ThorSport this season for Majeski. There's Hocevar on the left and Friesen on the right. And Jamie Howe's got the reports on the 2nd and 3rd place runners.
Now with 49 laps to go in this race, there's some coaching going on. For the number 42, we'll start with Carson Hocevar. The word is you got too much speed at the center. You don't want to hurt your exit. Be cautious. but you've got to make quick work to get around him, being John Hunter Nemechek for the number 52 of Stuart Friesen. He's being told, don't drive too deep into the corner. He said, you're just as good as anybody in turns 1 and 2. Keep working on turn 3, and you're going to get it.
Yeah, both ends of the track here at Charlotte, definitely giving you a different feel.
It does. Just the way you enter the corners, you know, you sweep into turn 1 more, and man, it's a thrill ride. As you run down the front straightaway here, you see it's just a nice, easy looking bend in there. It's anything but easy, I can tell you that. Tyler Ankrum down on the inside of Grant Enfinger grabbing another spot. We saw him spinning down the front straightaway earlier, rebounded to top 15 right now, Benson, and that's crucial. He needs every one of those points, and when he was backwards down the front straightaway, it wasn't looking like top 10 was a possibility, but with the speed of that truck and where they are right now. And this is another interesting story, Vince. Last week at COTA, Zane had a flat tire, went all the way back to 38th position. He was able to rally late in the race and get a top 10. He needs those points. He's just like the other racers that haven't got the victory lane. You never know when you're gonna have a bad day. Tonight, he had that penalty on pit road outside the top 20. He's picking them off one at a time. So this is a great rebound for this team. He needs a caution to get back in the game, but he's got a really fast truck.
Yeah, the way he drove through the field at Circuit of the Americas last week, it gives you an indication of the kind of speed and capabilities of that team and him as a driver, and more of the same tonight. I don't think there's any question that that 21 is a capable group.
No doubt. He's been so impressive since he showed up in the Xfinity Series, and now the Truck Series. He's just a very, very strong young racer.
So Ben Rhodes has gotten around his teammate Eckes. So Rhodes, Eckes, and Crafton running 5, 6, and 7, although the order has changed. Todd Gilliland right behind him in 8th, as you see how those Thor Sport trucks in the pylon are positioned on track. Another tough night for Johnny Sauter, who came into this race on the playoff bubble. And right now, Sauter finds himself a couple of laps down.
What about Todd Gilliland after caving in his right side of his truck, taking out Sheldon Creed? He's been able to rally. Now trying to get that spot away from Crafton. 38 and 88 on the back straightaway.
Crafton still seeking that first win of the season. Does have a couple of wins here throughout his career, and boy, how big it would be if he could get another one tonight. How about the 38 chasing him, Regan?
Well, Vince, it's really pretty impressive that he's up here trying to make a move, as we see on Matt Crafton right now. The steering wheel on that truck has been kicked off of its center line point, which means he does have some damage to the steering of it, and you see all the right side body damage. That truck got significantly tighter after the contact he had with Sheldon Creed. Still a fast truck, just not quite as fast as it was earlier.
Yeah, as good as those front runners are, if you've got some damage on yours, certainly to the significance that Gilliland has, it's going to be awfully difficult to get up there and contend for the win. But we've still got a lot of racing left to go, just over 40 laps remaining, and everybody's still got to make another pit stop.
Yeah, and what is that strategy going to look like? Let's listen into the 38 truck and see what they're thinking.
That's what I was just looking at here, running long, and when the leader would get back to unlap himself. Give me a minute here. We can go to 112. Definitely a run long situation right here. Yeah, I'm leaning towards that. That's Dylan's math, so that's probably more like 110 or 11, but yeah, I'm with you.
Just trying to do something that the others aren't. You know, they're always, I talked earlier about the crew chiefs, always thinking, always trying to see if there's a window to gain an advantage. Get to pit road before the competitors, stay out after them. Whatever it's going to take in order to be off sequence, if you will, Vince, a bit with the leader. You can't just do what the leader does or you won't ever catch him.
Well, you got a little bit more freedom when you've already got a win tucked in your playoff pocket. Going to take a break, but you won't miss a thing. Going to keep on trucking from Charlotte. Back at Charlotte Motor Speedway, Camping World Truck Series Racing, presented by Blue Emu. 35 to go. Our Blue Emu race summary. John Hunter Nemechek, our race leader. Sheldon Creed won stage 1, got wrecked out in stage 2 by Todd Gilliland. Zane Smith won the second stage.
And then he had a penalty.
Yep.
And now we watch John Hunter Nemechek on the 1.5 mile here at Charlotte, trying to go 4 for 4 for that organization, Kyle Busch Motorsports. His lap times, Vince, are comparable. There's one of our first leaders.
Yep, we talked about when they would begin to take that last pit stop, and now is the time. Jamie.
Start off with the 42. They were telling him to save early on that last stint. He made it all the way as far as they could. He said they needed to be smooth, focus on the exit when you go back out there for the number 52. They told him, keep working on it. He told him they were too loose off of 3 and 4. They're going to make a slight adjustment.
We can't have a mistake here, Jamie. This is important. You want to make sure you do these stops clean. This will take any chance of a top 5 finish away if you make a mistake.
Yeah, a little slow. It looked on the right side of that host of our truck. Regan.
Well, at 16 of Austin Hill, they decided to go ahead and pit right now. That was the call last time by. That truck is too free in the center of 1 and 2, a little bit too tight off of turn 4, and he's struggling to run through the traction compound as well as he'd like to right now.
Could see him put it in gear while the team runs around. Foot on the brake, foot on the clutch, drops that clutch and goes.
John Hunter Nemechek pits from the lead. Jamie?
And as Eric Phillips said on the radio, we are on our own island here. We're going to smooth on, smooth off, no mistakes, just hit your marks. He went all 4 below that yellow line, just as he was told, be it fuel and tire change for John Hunter Nemechek.
Yeah, unless he makes a mistake, certainly they seem like they have the truck and the position on track once everything cycles through.
Looked like
to be in the right spot.
Entered his pit box in a hurry. I'm sure he wasn't speeding, but it looked like he had a lot of speed as he closed in on his box.
Just makes you nervous on those last stops.
It does, especially when you're out there in command of the race.
Eckes has inherited the lead. Ty Majeski running second. A couple of Thor Sport trucks.
Most of our top 10, Vince, have not been to pit road yet, including Zane Smith. There's Haley Deegan. She was running in the 13th position. Truck was stronger at the beginning of the race, but she's still running consistent lap times, just not on the same pace as she was earlier. Maybe this adjustment will help her. There's Drew Dollar. Nice job by this young man. Backup truck, made a mistake in practice, got into the outside wall, and has been able to rally and run up toward the top 10.
Big bounce back for Dollar, who will get some consistent laps in that truck, running the next couple of events as well, as Eckes gives up the lead to get on pit road for his final stop.
What some of these teams are hoping for, including Timmy Hill, Ryan Truex, who haven't been that fast, even Dawson Cram, Chris Wright, if they could just get a caution right now, Regan, it could play into these guys' strategy.
It absolutely could, Michael, and right now you see the 66 of Ty Majeski on the left of your screen. That truck was really good earlier. This past run, though, it's been way too loose. He had to go to the back for a penalty. A nice recovery, just too loose in the traffic. And the 98 of Christian Eckes right now, no stability into turn 1 with that truck. The right rear wants to get sideways on him, wants to spin out when he enters turn 1.
Talking about spinning out, Regan, Tyler Ankrum, who spun all the way down the front straightaway, and Zane Smith with that issue on pit road. They're 1-2 right now, and these teams, like I said earlier, Vince, you just want to do what the dominant truck isn't doing. And these guys have stayed on the racetrack to get that track position. They're just hoping for a caution to make these pit stops under yellow.
Yeah, you see the top 4, they still will need to come. Ankrum is very fortunate, because as you said, Mike, spinning down that front stretch, and I mean, could have very easily torn up that truck, but is now on pit road and no worse for the wear.
And we've already talked about, Vince, that we think this young man, this team can go to victory lane, but they need every point they can get, Jamie, and they've done a nice job recovering so far.
and they were trying to go as far as they could. As soon as he left pit lane the last time, they told him, save the fuel, save the tires. He said they told him, we're only racing those who are on the same pit sequence as us, so stay smart. We'll get you to the end of this race. Slight adjustment for Tyler Ankrum.
Yeah, a little slow on that right front as well. I saw one of the lug nuts come off, and tire changer had to reach down, pick it up, put it back on.
Drivers down pit road will look at that tachometer. You see it turn green there. That means he's safe. As it flashes red, he bumps it back down a little bit. Generally, if it's solid red, it's fine. Blinking red, you're getting in trouble.
Last thing you want to do is make a mistake now. Coming to 25 to go. It's extremely difficult to recover at this late stage of the race. Remember this triple truck challenge presented by Wampley? A $50,000 bonus up for grabs as well.
Zane Smith continues to stay on the racetrack. There's that good Sam number 21.
Good looking truck. I like those combinations, red, white, and yellow.
There's Derek Kraus just behind him. Already made his pit stop. Kraus is the first truck a lap down. Try to get around Smith just in case the caution were to fly.
Zane Smith won a couple of times last year, has not been to victory lane this season. You remember, he does still need to come to pit road, make that final stop.
There goes
Kraus with an important pass.
Tells you how valuable those tires are. There's Dawson Cram in the 41 truck. He needs to get around Smith as well. He's 2 down. Cram wants to get back on one lap down. Tells you how competitive things are. Dawson with a little bit fresher tires, running back in the 24th spot, but can hang right with the leader.
Those good years are valuable.
Can also see these drivers using a little bit different line at times up into the traction compound, trying to gain ground on competitors. Here comes Ty Majeski in the 66. Majeski's in 13th position, as you see on the scoring pylon. He's a lap down.
When it circles back with Zane Smith and Ryan Truex taking their pit stops, it would put John Hunter Nemechek back out front.
Cram around as well. Think Zane will come this time. Got to get her woe down. He looks too fast to me. Oh man, that's a good job. That's what you want to do. You want to look too fast, but get her woe down by the time you get to that line. That was an awesome entry to pit road.
John Hunter Nemechek trying to win for the 3rd time this season.
This would make a statement too, Vince. You know, we've talked a lot about Ben Rhodes, a couple of wins, the best average finish. Nemechek, though, has, I think, been pretty much the fastest truck all year long, and to be able to make a statement like this, if he can go to victory lane at Charlotte, that team will be rolling as we head to the summer months.
20 to go. Our Camping World 20 laps remaining here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. And this would be the 4th straight win on the 1.5 mile tracks for Kyle Busch Motorsports. Only 2 more 1.5 miles after this one, and only 1 in the playoffs. Not quite the advantage that it has been in the past, as you see some significant smoke coming from the back end of Crafton. Oh, a big wreck. Drew Dollar involved in that.
That has every look of.
Oh. Johnny Sauter
tore his whole side
destroyed.
That has the look of Vince, somebody trying to get to pit road maybe, and wow, hope Johnny's okay. That looks terrible.
We saw Drew Dollar slide down into the infield as well, and there's the 13 truck of Sauter, just absolutely destroyed. Sauter, we'd mentioned, had been running a couple of laps down. Well, and there's that third truck that was involved in that, and that's Trey Hutchins. So Hutchins and Sauter and Drew Dollar. And Sauter, looks like the window net has come down. So thankful to see that. That's universally the driver signaling that he is okay. And Jamie, what are you hearing down there?
I was listening to the team communication, Joe Shearer Jr. asking Johnny, are you okay? It took a moment for Johnny to respond, but he said, yep, I've got you, 10-4. I didn't even see the guy sitting there. He's parked right in front of his team right now, but Johnny is talking to them, so seems to be all right.
I just have to believe someone was trying to get to pit road, and
yeah, because this is right in the tri-oval area out of turn 4. We'll take a closer look at the replays and see if we can piece it all together when we come back. Less than 20 to go at Charlotte. The cleanup continues here at Charlotte Motor Speedway on the exit of turn 4 after a big collision between Johnny Sauter, Drew Dollar, and Trey Hutchins. Hutchins' truck had come to a stop on track, and Dollar and Sauter came through turn 4, and
Sauter was tucked right up under Dollar, Drew Dollar, Vince, and couldn't see what was ahead, I'm sure.
So Hutchins has already had his issue and has come off the wall, but had been scrubbing the wall for a while yet, and then Sauter and Dollar came up.
When you saw John Hunter was behind them, he still had a great deal of speed too, so the caution must not have been out yet, and the drivers didn't know that Hutchins was just going to be sitting in the road.
Oh,
you could see Sauter wouldn't be able to see through the 51 truck of Dollar. And look, the speed that John Hunter has coming in there.
I guess Johnny's spotter, the veteran Tab Boyd, had radioed that he just did not see the 14 and where the 14 was on track. And you know, that's a similar spot, Mike, where we talked about earlier that seemed like maybe is a vulnerable position for the spotters.
Yeah,
that outside of turn on the exit of 4 as they come toward the tri-oval area.
And Hutchins' truck is black, so that probably made it a little more difficult to see at night against the black asphalt. But man, look at all the stuff. And here comes our leader. Look at him bouncing through all the debris. He'll be fortunate if he didn't do some damage to his truck.
Now watch, this is John Hunter Nemechek coming through all this debris, and boy, this is scary as well.
See, the green light is on.
Yep.
The caution hadn't fallen, and so the spotters didn't see the 14 truck.
Yep.
Look at that. Look at the roof.
Jamie on the 4 and the issue of Nemechek now.
Well, John Hunter wasn't sure if he had run over something, got hit by something, and they now watched it. They've seen it. They've watched the truck go around the racetrack. They don't think he has any damage down low. They don't think he ran over anything, which is good because they don't have any extra tires. So they're just going to wait and see what they have, Regan.
Not the same story for the 16 truck Austin Hill. They did run something over, trying to diagnose what it was exactly and if it did any damage underneath that truck. Not sure if they're going to pit or not yet. They're using the pictures that these teams get to try and piece together what exactly has hit that truck.
Well, there was brake rotors and spindles and all kinds of debris, Regan, down there. You could see that most of that truck was scattered across the track. That's one of the most violent wrecks I've seen lately.
Just speaks to the safety of these vehicles and the innovation of safety to protect these drivers within the cocoon of that cockpit.
You can see the green is on, and the reason why not only did the spotter Tab Boyd not see the 14 truck, it doesn't appear that NASCAR did either because the caution wasn't out. And these guys, great move there by Dollar to duck to the inside, but Vince, I'm telling you, Johnny Sauter had no idea. He did not have a clue that there was a truck stopped on the track. There was nothing he could do about that. He was blinded by the 51 truck, and the 51 truck did a great job of getting to the bottom and missing Hutchins, but Johnny didn't have a chance.
Was so thankful after Sauter sat in that truck for a moment to see that window net come down, and communication with his crew chief Joe Shear Jr. And if you're just joining us, Johnny did climb from the truck and walk under his own power to the ambulance, and will go to the infield care center, as all drivers who are involved in contact are required to do. The AMR safety team out there immediately to not only tend to the drivers but also to assist in getting these trucks hauled back to the garage area. Wow. Unbelievable. Hey, coming up Sunday, the best NASCAR season ever continues. The Cup Series right back here at Charlotte Motor Speedway for the Coca-Cola 600. Coverage begins with race day on FS1, 4:30 Eastern. Then continues at 5:30 Eastern on Fox and the Fox Sports app. Join us on Sunday. Going to be a fun day.
Oh, yeah. Crown jewel event.
All right, watch this from the perspective of John Hunter Nemechek as he comes through this accident involving Hutchins, Sauter, and Dollar.
You could see that green light that John Hunter went by, and then look at this mess. Wow. Knocked that camera right out. That is violent.
I'm not sure what that was.
Well, it could have been a multitude of different pieces and parts, Vince. There was
debris everywhere, the debris field, and you can see from this truck.
I'm just glad
Johnny Sauter understand why there was so much debris out there.
Glad he's okay. That was violent.
Wanted to talk to Johnny, but he declined after he was checked and released at the medical center.
It's a beautiful sight, isn't it? Walking off.
It is indeed. Trey Hutchins involved in that. Trey making his first start of the season, and Drew Dollar involved as well, but thankfully all three okay.
What about Zane Smith, Vince? He's rebounded again, just like he did down at Coda, all the way back to 38th down there into the top 10. Now he's been a lap down after that penalty, and he's going to restart on the lead lap in 11th. See if he can make something out of this. This is going to be intense again. What you need is the right push at the right time on this restart. Ben Rhodes really needs to get smoothly to the back bumper of Austin Hill and see if he can propel Hill ahead of John Hunter.
John Hunter Nemechek looking for his third win of the season. Austin Hill, last year's regular season champ, but still without a win this season. Hill will start on the outside. John Hunter Nemechek on the inside.
Second row tries to time it so they can get that run just right.
10 laps remaining at Charlotte.
There's the push.
Rhodes tried to give Hill the shove. Didn't pay off. Nemechek has the lead. Hocevar in second. Hill gets put in a 3-wide sandwich with Friesen on the bottom. Friesen's going to grab the positions.
Oh, look at Hill just sliding back through the field.
Bumping and grinding, everybody trying to get a spot.
What a mess. Somehow they kept them pointed in the right direction as they made it through turn 1.
John Hunter Nemechek out front. Carson Hocevar continues his terrific season running second, and is he going to have a shot at John Hunter, maybe to get his first career win? Rhodes, Friesen, Gilliland, top 5. Nemechek crosses the line. 8 laps remaining. Hocevar chasing. Carson Hocevar, the 18-year-old from Michigan, career best third a few weeks back at Darlington. Got it done on the road course last week with another top 10. And here he is working on a career best finish tonight, but he's focused on the back end of that 4 truck trying to chase down John Hunter Nemechek.
And the back end of that 4 truck keeps getting smaller out his windshield too. But you said something that was really cool there, Vince. The 18-year-old third at Darlington. You stack up, you go to Darlington and run in the top 5 as a teenager, that's a major accomplishment. This kid's got wins ahead of him.
Nemechek didn't win either one of the first 2 stages. And he has normally been right there for those stage wins, as Tanner Gray has slowed down after getting into the wall. Creed won stage 1 but crashed in stage 2 as he tangled with Nemechek, or with Gilliland. Ended up ending Creed's night. Zane Smith won stage 2 but then got a penalty and had to go to the back.
Nice dive there by Derek Kraus around the 16 of Austin Hill up to the 8th position. Let's watch Tanner Gray catching the wall here.
Trying to slide up in front of Grant Enfinger.
Got loose and into the outside wall. He'll be lucky if that tire doesn't blow out after that contact. That's not what John Hunter Nemechek wants to hear or see.
Yeah, Nemechek just wants it to stay green right now, all the way to the end as he works on a lead of about a half second over Hocevar. Remember, Hocevar pitted 3 times in that first stage trying to get his truck right. Didn't like the way it was handling.
Last 2 laps, Hocevar's been a little faster than Nemechek. There you see the distance, the gap. Man, when you're that close to your first win, that truck's up there, you can just taste it. Doing everything you can, running different lines, trying to figure out a way around, a way to get faster to get there.
But when Nemechek is out front, so difficult to catch. These Kyle Busch Motorsports machines have terrific speed. Eric Phillips has done a phenomenal job atop the box.
Talking about a great run. That time, John Hunter put a couple of tenths on Hocevar.
Phillips, the winningest crew chief in Camping World Truck Series history, and he's got a driver the capabilities of John Hunter Nemechek, who certainly is one of the top drivers, if not the top driver in the series when you look back at his experience in the Cup, at the Cup level.
No doubt.
And just 23 years old.
What about the problems for Todd Gilliland in 5th and Chandler Smith? We talked about this 18 truck needed a new right rear fender. Well, Vince, they gave him one, and he's all the way up to 6th position. You see the repairs there on the right side. So a great recovery from this young racer.
The final lap for John Hunter Nemechek. Carson Hocevar in his shadow. But something's going to have to go wrong for Nemechek if Hocevar is going to catch him.
He's closing, Vince.
He is indeed, but Nemechek still with a little bit of a gap. Under 4 tenths. Wow. John Hunter Nemechek is going to hold off Carson Hocevar, and Nemechek wins for the 3rd time this season.
Thank you. Fast truck. I really appreciate that, guys. Thank you. This is our baby right here. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Eric. Thank you, guys. Everyone at KBM, Kyle, Toyota, everyone. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
That's what it's like winning at home, Vince. Just a great feeling for this young racer.
Kyle Busch Motorsports 4 for 4 on the mile and a halfs this season. 2 wins for John Hunter, 2 for the boss Kyle. But the KBM equipment is tuned up on these mile and a halfs.
Yeah, we talked about Sheldon Creed early with that new GMS truck. Got wiped out, but they still got work to do if they're going to hang with these KBM trucks.
6th win of the season for KBM. You've got those 3 wins for John Hunter. Kyle's got a couple, and remember Martin Truex Jr. won on the dirt at Bristol.
You know, when you go to Victory Lane with your roof caved in, you know it was a pretty interesting night.
Well, and how that could have derailed his chances very easily.
Hear the fans. That's a great feeling for John Hunter to get to experience getting out and saluting the fans. Really appreciate all the NASCAR fans that come out and enjoy the races with us.
9th career win for the 23-year-old from Mooresville, North Carolina. And as you said, Mike, winning at home. What a sweet feeling it is. He said he was going to come back to the Truck Series to win races, collect trophies. He had nothing else in mind but just winning, to show everyone that he was still a driver more than capable of winning if you gave him the equipment to do it in, and he has done just that.
He hashtagged it too, Vince, for the wins.
Yep.
In that Ford truck, and he has performed at every level.
Regan Smith is with the winner.
John Hunter Nemechek Quite the day. You started your day off with damage to the right rear of your truck. The second lap on the racetrack, you recovered to win the race tonight.
Yeah, you came and saw me earlier, and I told you we had a fast truck, only running, I think, 10 laps total in practice. So hats off to all my guys, Eric Phillips, all of my guys that work on this thing, everyone at KBM, the chassis shop, Fab Shop, just everyone and all their effort, Mobile One, TRD, Toyota, Kyle for this opportunity. Just so thankful, so blessed to be in this spot. And how about this crowd? It's awesome to have all you guys back.
So cool to have the crowd here. A little bit more good news for you also. The Wampley Triple Truck Challenge, an extra $50,000 in your pocket tonight.
Yeah, honestly, I forgot about that. So thank you to Wampley, Marcus Lemonis, Camping World, everyone that makes this series happen. One of the greatest series right here in the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series. So awesome. Sadly, Aspen's in bed at home, but Taylor's here. So hopefully we can celebrate and have some fun tonight.
John Hunter Nemechek, your winner at Charlotte.
For Carson Hocevar, you guys covered it. They made 3 stops early on to get that truck as good as they could. It's his best career finish, but he was upset over the radio. The word to Carson was, be proud, hold your head high. You apologized to your crew. You told him you were sorry. You made too many mistakes. What would you go back and change tonight?
Found the bottom in 3 and 4 better, got the restart better. I've never been in that position too many times, and I just let it slip away. I finally caught him last few laps, but it was 1 or 2 too late. I don't know if I could have cleared him, but I could have put up a fight. But second's bittersweet. You're the first loser, but you also run second, and it's a good points day, and it's a good thing that out in East and this organization, East Motorsports needed Phil, Cody, everybody. We're chipping away at it.
Chipping away at it indeed. We're going to move on back, walk down pit lane with me here, Goat. We're going to move back to Stuart Friesen. They made that crew chief change this week. John Leonard now making the calls for this number 52 truck. And for Stuart, you started all the way back in 11th place, able to fight your way through, keep on clawing. What made the difference this week?
Excuse me, John made a good call there to short pit that one stage, and just got us some good track position. We had a good Tundra, thanks to Helmar, thanks to all our veterans and all our military that obviously gave the ultimate sacrifice so we can come out here and race trucks and modifieds and everything else all Memorial Day weekend all over the country. Proud of my Canadian roots, but also proud to call USA your home. So thanks to all those folks, and thanks to all these guys. We had a good night. We needed to kind of get some momentum. And hopefully we got going in the right direction. We were just fought free all night. Nothing, we did tightened it up to where I could really run. But proud of these guys. We made some changes this week, and trip's been awesome. Thanks to Chris Larson, Halmar. Hi to Jess and P and everybody at home watching. See you guys in the morning.
Nice job, guys.
Good stuff, Jamie. Thank you very much. And our Triple Truck Challenge presented by Wampley rewards 3 drivers in the 3 races, each with a $50,000 bonus. Sheldon Creed won at Darlington, Gilliland at the Circuit of the Americas, and John Hunter tonight here at Charlotte. 3 pretty good race car drivers right there.
And what about Stuart Friesen? He won up in New York last night in the dirt modified. He's burning the midnight oil tonight. He's had a busy 24 hours, but anytime you can run in the top 5 in one of these Camping World truck races, that's a great accomplishment.
John Hunter fires it back up with that checkered flag, and he'll take it to victory lane. And so much joy, and you could hear it in his voice, celebrating with fans here at Charlotte Motor Speedway, and the fans with their roar of approval as well. Good stuff. Hey, tomorrow Pro Football continues with the Spring League on Fox. Catch the Generals as they battle the Jousters. The Jousters, the hard-hitting action kicking off tomorrow, 3 o'clock Eastern on Fox and the Fox Sports app.
What a fun night, Vince. We had some great racing. A couple guys win the stage, and John Hunter was there for the checkered flag at the finish.
Relatively new dad, and got to be pretty cool time in his life for John Hunter Nemechek. Got a lot going on, got a lot going right. You see what's coming up tomorrow on FS1 with Xfinity qualifying at 10 a.m. Cup qualifying will follow at 11. Race day at noon. The Xfinity race, the ARCA race. It is a full day on FS1 tomorrow. And then Sunday, getting you ready for the Coca-Cola 600 race day at 4:30 on FS1, and then 5:30 on Fox. Well, it was a great night tonight. So glad to be able to get it in. Mother Nature cooperated with us. We had a lot of fun. For Jamie Howe, Regan Smith, Michael Waltrip, I'm Vince Welch. So appreciate you spending time with us on your Friday night. And congratulations to John Hunter Nemechek, win number 3 of the season.